The idiots have been in charge way too long. And that's why you're here. For the podcast you need. All for liberty all the time. Welcome to Liberty Bites Back. With your host, Brandon Emil.
An archaeologist, he believes he has found Yahushuwah's childhood home. Yahushuwah is the Hebrew for Jesus. Now I'll go ahead and read the article for you. A prominent British archaeologist has put forth a compelling case arguing that the well-preserved ancient house in Nazareth was the childhood home of Jesus or Yahushuwah. The building dates back to the 1st century and the site is now home to the Sisters of Nazareth Convent. In modern times it was first identified as the home where Jesus or Yahushuwah grew up with Joseph and Mary in the 19th century. But the theory was dismissed in the 1930s and has been rejected ever since. However, after 14 years of fieldwork and research on the site, Ken Dark, a professor of archaeology and history at the Reading University in the UK, has found that the covenant stands on the dwelling that the ancient Nazarene believed was Jesus or Yahushuah's first home. Significant chunks of the building survive, including a rock-cut staircase. In its 1st century heyday, it probably included a number of living and storage rooms around the courtyard and a roof terrace. Professor Dark discovered that people in the area believed that the building was Jesus's or Yahushuah's home from at least the 380s, and his analysis also confirms the building's status as a 1st century dwelling. No such case can be made for any other sites in the city. The archaeologist's investigation of the 2-story house revealed excellent craftsmanship and an understanding of rock that would be consistent with it having built by owned of a tekton, a description of Joseph's profession in the Greek Gospels, which means that he was not only a carpenter but also a stonemason or builder. His fieldwork also indicates that the cave church, decorated with mosaics, was built next to a house remains in the 4th century. In the 5th century, a church was built over both the house and the cave church, and it was the largest church in Nazareth at the time. The church was elaborately decorated with marble and mosaics, and it exactly matched the 7th century description of the large Byzantine church that was said to have stood on the site of Yahushuah's home. It was an important pilgrimage destination. In his book, The Sisters of Nazareth Convent, a Roman period Byzantine and Crusader site in central Nazareth, Professor Dark probed the likelihood of the memory of the building's history being transmitted from the 1st century to the 4th century. When the first church was built on the site, my conclusion is that from anthropological evidence, the studies of oral tradition, there's absolutely no reason why they couldn't have known. End quote, he said.